Greetings, Anita.
Greetings and namaste.
We're going to talk about when it's appropriate to take your ring off or when it's
Oh,
appropriate to wear your ring if you are a widow.
is there an answer to that question?
Well, here's the thing.
Because I
When
feel like they're kind of not.
do you find that when we are in a bunch of widow groups, we get this question a lot and people are saying, when should I take this off? When is it appropriate? As if there is a set time.
Yeah,
And yeah, we see this a lot. Here's the deal. There's no right answer.
yeah.
Oh,
And if you Google it, you'll get a lot of answers because I know that people have said that. I Googled it to find out what the right answer was.
yeah. What's your
Yeah.
experience with your rings?
It's so funny because I have a diamond ring and then I have a wedding band and I never wore either of them when Jason was alive because just like what I do for a job and I didn't want to lose it. And then as soon as he died, I was like, oh, put the ring back on. And so that's kind of like opposite of a lot of people.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah. And then I wanted to get a clear ring for a while, but I couldn't find one that I liked. And so now I just wear a white silicone ring. And
Because
I
he's a
don't wear
ghost.
yes, I don't wear my regular wedding rings. Although sometimes when I'm getting dressed up, I'll put on my I'll put on my my diamond wedding ring. So, and it's been 2+ years, and in my heart, I'm still married, so I still wear it.
Yeah. And you feel good about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. My situation is I'm a musician, I'm a piano player for my job, and I don't like anything on my fingers. I hate jewelry. I hate fingernail polish. I wish I liked fingernail polish, but
Because
I
that'd be
just,
so cool. Because like when you're playing, it'd be like
I know.
pizzazz, pizzazz,
And
pizzazz.
I love
You know?
color. And so I want to love jewelry and I want to love fingernail polish, and I can't do any of it. However, when I was engaged to my husband, who's now dead, I wanted a ring that I could wear while I was playing, that it wouldn't bother me and it wouldn't
Mm.
spin. And so I was pretty thoughtful in how I picked it, and I loved my ring so much. And then he died, and like you just said, you, in your heart, you're still married. I'm 3 years out from his death, almost three and a half, and I have not kept wearing it only because I lost some weight and it's been falling off. But I know, well, after he died, I did the Lucky Charms plus pie diet. It was amazing. And my ring stayed on so great. It like never came off.
Because
And
it couldn't.
yeah,
Because
I
you're
mean,
like,
and
my fingers are so fat.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, as a female anyway, I used to do a lot of traveling for my job, and a ring was something that was a deterrent because I didn't
Right.
want people bugging me. And at the during those times I was working on having my own boundaries. Like I was still learning how to like not like know that I was in control of, situations, but it did help me to have something there. So I loved wearing that ring because it fit great. I picked it out knowing that I hate rings and I loved it. And I didn't want to get rid of it and just stop wearing it. And I am totally at peace with the fact that I'm a widow and that I'm not dating. And so I don't feel bad about my decision. And yeah, but like I said, I don't have it on now because it's like been falling off. But um,
Where is it right now? I mean, not like I'm gonna come steal it, but do you have it
I
somewhere
have it in a place where
special?
I
Or
no,
is it just like
like the
where all the other
bathroom.
jewelry is?
Well, I don't really have a lot of jewelry because I
Oh,
hate
yeah, okay.
jewelry, but yeah,
But
it's
there's like places where it would have a place of honor, and then there's just a place where it's, put away kind of a thing.
it does not have a place of honor, kind of like my passport. It's just in a place where I know where it is and it's random, but I can access it anytime. So anyway,
I'm a
I
little bit
wear
concerned that you need to access your passport at any time. Like that makes you sound like a criminal. Like you have
or
a go box.
or a traveling musician. That's
Oh.
happened where it's like, "Oh, you're leaving in 2 days and you're going to Europe." Okay. So, I know we lead such different lives, right? But so I actually loved wearing mine, and And after my husband died, I didn't want people bugging me about dating. And I did. I had a couple stalkers, like legit stalkers that came to my house and like peeped through the windows. It was creepy.
No.
I know, it's weird. Anyway, and so I continued to wear it because it was still a form of protection for me and it helped me to remember, yeah, I was married to this guy that's now not alive. So if I didn't lose some of the weight, I would still have it on. But really, the reality is everybody has their own reason, right? And
Yeah.
their own timing. And so I think we always look to outside sources to tell us when it's okay. But
Yeah.
really, like, you're the boss. And that's one of the things that's hard about the widowhood journey is like you learn it over time, like, oh, my reasons are my reasons. Doesn't
Yeah, and well,
matter
and there's expectations from external sources, you know, you think like, what are people going to think if I'm not wearing the ring? Or what are they going to think
if I
if I
am.
am wearing the ring? Like, oh, she's stuck, she's not moving on, and all of that kind of stuff. And so sometimes we get into our own heads, not because of what we feel in our hearts, but what we worry about other people thinking about us and our healing and our grief and all of those things.
Definitely.
What did you do with Scott's ring out of curiosity?
He had 2 rings
He
and
was
because he
such a diva.
you guys, Scott had all the taste. I had none of the taste. He planned our wedding. He made it look great. He was like a designer kind of a guy. I was like, just do it and I'll show up with the snacks.
Yeah.
So he had 2 rings because he's like, well, I want one for formal occasions and I want one for daily wear. I
That's
know.
me.
Guys, he was in theater. He was a theater director. So he had the eye for this stuff. So he I actually buried him with the formal ring. No,
Okay.
actually with the non-formal ring because it matched his casket. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's so funny that the ring that he picked actually matched his casket that we picked." It was so weird. But I kept the one that matched kind of my ring and it's also somewhere. I have had to move a few times. It's in a safe place. I got to find it. But I put it on a necklace around me because I did put it on my thumb for a while cuz it was a physical reminder of, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
remember that this happened." Like the 2 things that would help me to remember that, yeah, I was married to this guy. It was not a dream because we were only married almost 2 years.
Yeah. I feel like that too, even though we were married for almost 20 years. I'm
Yeah,
still like, was that real? Did that really happen?
it like totally messes with you.
It
It
does.
it looking at the ring and looking at the mock-up of the headstone from the cemetery are the 2 things that help me to remember, "Oh yeah, Mel, this happened. You're valid." So, I had it on my thumb, then I had it on a necklace, and now it's somewhere. And yeah, but I mean, what you were just talking about earlier, where sometimes the ring means stuff to other people besides ourselves. I think, like 8 months out, actually, yeah, 8 to 10 months out. And I was still wearing it. And a mutual friend came up and was like, "Oh, I see that you're engaged again and you're getting married. Like, wow, that's really great. Like, so you've moved on from your husband dying." And I'm like, "What? No, my brain is back on basically the day after he died. Like I was it's a good reminder for me that everybody else's time moves on in a normal manner
Yeah.
and ours stops. So, what about you? What do you do with Jason's rings? There it is.
His ring is on my finger. It's funny because right as they were about to close the casket, like his ring was on his finger, and the funeral director was like, "What do you want to do you want to leave that?" Or somebody, I don't even know. Somebody asked me if I wanted to keep it, and at the very last minute before they closed it, I was like, "Get it!" And it was actually really awkward to watch them pull it off of his hand
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's yeah. Well, anyway, so I wear his ring on my middle finger, and it fits really well, and then I wear my own ring,
And
and
you know what? It's on your middle finger and you can flip people off when they're
yes,
like,
and I
"Oh,
do.
look, I see you're married again."
Fing!
Look at this.
No, nobody has ever made that mistake with me. Nobody's ever said, "Oh, you're engaged again." I mean, also because it's a rubber ring, so it's not like super fancy.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
people like to take it off right after. It
Mhm.
just is totally personal and there's not a wrong answer.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
cares?
and then some people have modified their rings, have made them different somehow to signify that the relationship has changed. Some people have turned them into other pieces of jewelry. There's just like a lot of options, and like you're saying, there's not really one that's right or wrong. It's just whatever feels right to you. And often you don't know what feels right. And so you just kind of play it by ear. You just kind of wait and try different things and see what feels
Yeah.
Feels good to your soul.
It's gonna change all the time.
It's
One day you
true.
may be like, "No, I'm never taking this off," and the next day you might take it off and be like, "Oh, I don't have a feeling about it. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever."
And you know what? I think a lot of times just what you described is how those changes happen. So you're like, you have to go somewhere and you have to take the ring off and then you just keep it off. Or you're like, oh, my finger is skinny because I stopped eating just Lucky Charms. And so it doesn't fit anymore. So I take it off. So it's not like a conscious, I am done wearing this ring. It's like I had to take it off for another reason. And I feel okay with leaving it off, if that makes sense. So it's just
Totally.
kind of like circumstances.
That's kinda yeah, that's like how mine was, and I
Yeah.
was surprised that I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel naked without it. Sometimes that happens, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
I think
wanna
that
say
happens a lot.
yes. And another thing people do is they still wear it, but they put their ring on their right hand if they
Yeah.
or their opposite hand, whatever they had
Right.
before. So, yeah, the thing that's stupid but also cool about this whole process is we get to decide whatever our journey is and be creative with it. So, I actually got I got a ring. I went on a trip for my second year death anniversary to Mexico, and as you know, there are a bunch of skulls in
Right.
Mexican culture. That's where I went, and so I got this ring that was a skull, and I thought it was so funny. I'm like, "This is gonna be my new ring that I wear because my current one is not fitting, and I wanna wear one because I still prefer the deterrent because I want my
Yeah.
space, right? Um, and so I thought that was a fun way that is fun for me, and I don't care what anyone else thinks about it, but yeah. "Oh, what's that skull on your finger?" "It's my ring. My husband is dead. It sucks, but it's kind of fun to have this ring."
But I did get this skull ring out of it. So it's kind of like,
Yes.
it was like, I went on
I went
this
on the vacation and all I
oh,
got was this stupid t-shirt,
dead
a stupid
husband
skull
ring.
ring.
Um, the other thing I was going to say though is that it's also none of it is set in stone. I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, like if you melt it down and forge it into a new thing, yeah, probably not going to come back. But if you take it off and it doesn't feel right, you can put it back on, and people probably will, if people are even noticing, people will probably think that's weird, but who cares? It's like, try it. And if you don't like it, then try something different.
Yeah, have fun with it. Anita and I got each other widow rings as
Yeah,
a
they were,
joke, but with ghosts on it, but then it kind of rubbed off. I know she's
they
like,
were stupid.
"Hey, I have a question.
Mhm.
You have kids, I don't have kids.
Correct.
Does that"
You can hear them laughing in the
I
background.
hear them maniacally laughing.
Yes. I don't know what's going on out there.
Does your decision to keep your ring on, is it affected by your kids and what they might think?
Honestly, I don't ever even think about it. Like, I just wear my ring, and I have really thought about it maybe like 3 times since Jason died. So it's just like habit, and I don't even think about it. So no.
Yeah. We have so many things in our lives where we feel like we should, and what we have learned during our widow journey, that's a common phrase, is stop shoulding all over yourself. So,
Mhm.
everyone, remember that. Should you not? Doesn't matter. You're the boss. And if
Yep.
people have a problem with it, they're gonna have a problem with it. It's fine.
And it's not your problem. It's
Yeah,
their problem.
yeah, and sometimes depending on where you're at in your journey, you're affected by other people's opinions more than later. So, it'll change. It's okay. We wanna hear what you guys are doing with your rings. Comment below. Tell us some of the creative things you're doing.
Yeah. Or when you felt it was right, or any crazy stories about people asking you and you having to explain yourself. All of the things. Tell us all the things.
Excellent. Let us know what you
Okay.
think. I'm Anita.
I'm Mel. Wait a minute.
I'm just kidding. I'm Mel.
I'm Anita. Oh man, we're 2 young widows, and we're just trying to figure out to ring or not to ring. Widow we do now.